Hello everyone. It's still Friday, April 8th, 2022 at 10:06 a.m. in the morning. I think I woke up about 8:30 and I went to bed at least at 1 o'clock this morning. But I probably could have ended up going to bed sooner or earlier, but they want to keep me awake and keep me to not be able to sleep and stuff. And so in the middle of the night, my sleep was spotty, and it was exactly 6:33. Excuse me, 6:33 this morning when the perp neighbors were doing stuff like blasting loud music, slamming doors, and stuff like that. And I was too tired, to get up, but I was tempted to get up and go outside and tell them something, or even try to see who that is doing that. So I couldn't tell if it was the motel room door or the vehicle doors that they kept slamming, multiple times this morning. And, some other commotion, going on between the middle of the night and this morning. But even after 2 o'clock in the morning, I think I heard some like loud music blasting or something. I don't remember. But last night it was cold enough that I had to turn on a heater. But I hate that in here, I hate living in a place where the heater is not consistent. If it wants to turn off and on when it wants to, and the same thing with the air conditioner. So, when I took a bath the night before and washed my hair and all that, maybe there was still some moisture in my ear. So, last night I tried to make sure to not last night I tried to make sure to not have my earbuds in, because me trying to dry my ears out, and my ears seem like as if they're kind of swollen and they have crust around, just on the outside, like as if I'm having an ear infection coming on. And I feel like a little bit of pressure in my right ear, and it kind of stunk a little bit, like as if an ear infection is trying again to come on. So, oh man, well, I guess I can just only afford to stay here one more week and live off of the little bit of food that I have left. And then next week, I'm gonna have to be, far as I know, will be the first time since September 28th or 29th. I guess the last time I slept on the streets, it was like September 28th, I think. And so then I'll have to be forced to go back onto the streets by next Friday, because everything will be just about gone. And so I was trying to get help with $40 more, and I felt like I didn't want to leave here having to owe them anything. I would have wanted everything paid off. But next week, I'm definitely, far as I know, gonna have to be back on the streets. And, I'm not ready, and I'm very scared. I'm scared to have to end up back on the streets. And after a while, they started vibrating my body, even with me, living on the streets. Because for a nice while, they weren't doing that. They stopped vibrating my body for over a year after I got here to Pensacola, and I would be forced to sleep on the streets, and they quit vibrating my body, and then they still went to do it. And then, me still being on the streets, I get stalked, followed, and harassed. Excuse me. So, I'm, as I said, well, I'm not totally disabled, but, I'm considered at least partially disabled. But, when I say like mentally disabled, and I got some physical limitations as well. Um, but mentally disabled with the Tourette's and unwanted intrusive thoughts and the depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And which that, and then the two strokes that I had, and when I was 5 years old. So that's what the kind of, excuse me, and coupled up with the sleep deprivation, that's, you know, cognitive impairment, with the sleep deprivation. And I feel sleep deprived right now, and I feel sleep deprived today. So with the sleep deprivation, um, so then my physical aspects of being disabled. Some people say Tourette's is neurological, but others say it's neurological and psychiatric, or neuropsychiatric. And I don't know if Asperger's syndrome is considered, mental or physical. And that mental or physical, it might be considered neuropsychiatric, like Tourette's. Or, you know, some people, as I said, they suspect that I might be on the autism spectrum. And as I said, the doctor, I mean, it was written in my medical records that I was diagnosed with pervasive developmental disorder, and then it was ruled out. And I read later on that people say that if you're diagnosed with pervasive developmental disorder, NOS, and they can't put you, back then they didn't have enough, knowledge, information, or technology, that now they have this term called Asperger's syndrome. And I don't have the money, and I don't think the insurance will cover it, but I've tried to see about getting tested for Asperger's syndrome. And in Metairie, part of New Orleans, I was supposed to try to get tested before I left, but I ended up, moving here, and I didn't have enough money. I didn't have the money to pay for the testing. But when I got the psychological evaluation, it seemed like as if they refused to touch on that. And then they just wanted to falsely diagnose me with what they wanted to diagnose me with, on purpose to make me look bad. And, I don't even know if they afraid to diagnose me with PTSD or complex PTSD, in which I know I have, and so if they're afraid, if the mental health fake professionals, pseudo professionals, are even afraid to diagnose me with um, complex PTSD or PTSD and try to tell me, oh, you don't have that. But, I know what I went through and I know what I've been suffering. So it's like they don't want the gang stalking or the abuse to be found out, or whatever MK Ultra or whatever I may have gone through, or any satanic ritual abuse or anything, or any abuse that I've gone through. I guess they're trying to keep that covered up. They don't want me to be diagnosed with complex PTSD or Asperger's syndrome, because I guess they might feel like it will be more of a reflection on my abusers, but they want stuff that's reflected on me, like the false diagnosis of schizophrenia and bipolar by doctors who aren't even familiar with me, and they just want to make a quick buck and stuff like that. Trying to falsely diagnose me. Sorry. Here we go with my obsessive compulsive disorder, fighting out unwanted intrusive thoughts. So damn. Excuse me and forgive me that my thoughts are, you know, I'm wondering if they hit you with direct energy weapons or beam frequencies at you to cause unwanted nonsensical thoughts, and if that might be covered up as OCD. So then see what I mean? I kind of lost my train of thought and got distracted with the unwanted intrusive thoughts. So I mean, doctors who aren't familiar with me and who don't know me, they, as I said, they just falsely diagnose, and rather than taking real good care of me and get to know me, they just make a quick false diagnosis in order to make a quick buck. And so, it's all a game. If they put you on one medication, and then if they want to say, well, if you put on one medication and then they say, well, you're showing symptoms of this, and then they put you on another medication and say, well, you have symptoms of this disorder, so then we're going to put you on this medication. And then they'll say, well, we're going to put you on this medication to counteract those disorders. So it seems like as if whatever medication probably would cause this or that disorder. Just like, well, I can't say too much. Can't say what else I needed to say. But the fake treatment, you'll be fine and normal, and the fake treatment causes whatever the fake treatment actually causes the disorder for real, the disability or the disorder for real. Like I feel like if a person has cancer, and if people say radiation is known to cause cancer, then why treat them with more radiation? If fluoride causes bad teeth, then why treat them with more fluoride as a solution? So, loud ass truck. Oh, something got in my eye. So anyway, so now I realize, I can stay here for just one more week, and then by next Friday, I mean, as I said, it's really scary that to have, nobody really care about you. And the people who pretend to fake like they want to help, sometimes they'll have like a sinister motive. And so, yeah, I'm just really scared of having to be back on the streets and penniless next week. And in which me having no money, um, I would have to beg and panhandle and be treated with abuse on the streets for asking for money to eat, or and then having no place to take a shower or a bath, and no physical overhead, you know, to protect myself from no physical overhead to protect myself from bad weather. And so if I'm even homeless out on the streets and forced to be in the rain, the gang stalkers will still be perping me in bad weather, whether I have a roof over my head or not. And so the fact that I'm supposed to be back on the streets next week and my tax refund is pretty much gone, you know, I know that the narcissistic online perps and fake TI perps are gonna say, you know, they're gonna probably bully, harass, and lecture me, telling me that the free ride is over, Candy, or something like that. They're probably gonna say your free ride is over, or they might be like, ha ha ha, scam no more, or something like that. But I never been a scam from day one. Never been a scammer from day one. But sometimes they might let me, you know, not have to pay, everything in full. But as I said, I don't want to leave having to owe anything. So, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, the fact that if I have $331 and then, you know, but wait a minute. Oh, well, I just found out I got $75 that I kept forgetting about, that I set aside $75 in the savings account because I was going to use that to, I forgot all about it, but I was going to use that to, for the money to, because I wouldn't know how much it would cost. I was trying to set aside $75, but I'm probably gonna have to just use that $75. I mean, use part of it, to, to stay here for one more week, and then I may have like 30 or 40 something dollars left over, but I don't know if that will be quite enough, Oh, so yeah. So don't worry about it, because now I forgot about the $75 in the bank. I mean, in the savings account, because I usually don't even put money in the savings account that much. Because if I put it in, if I try to get a certain amount of money and then I put it in a savings account, then I always, end up having to almost immediately use it within like a couple of days. But so then I'm gonna have to use. Well, I'll just finally you know use everything and pay off the whole 365 you know, this afternoon, and then, but me having like $30 or $40 left over, um, I'm wondering if that would be enough for me to pack up and leave out of here and get an Uber to to take my belongings to the storage unit. And sometimes, the fact that I have stuff with me, um, they might, change the fee or raise the fee, so if the ride were to cost $20, and if I just get in the car with nothing and go, that's the same price. But if they got to sit there and wait for me to transport belongings, to and from their car, their vehicle, then they pretty much will raise, change the fee to a higher fee and raise the price, kind of like the taxi cab meter. But I've dealt with certain asshole Uber drivers that get mad and panic if I'm getting groceries or something, and then they get mad. Well, if time is spent more, then they automatically adjust and change for me to have to pay more money and stuff, you know. But excuse and forgive me for forgetting, or almost forgetting that I had only $75 set aside in a savings account. Because sometimes I even forget I have a savings account because I don't use it that much. But I usually have the checking account. But I thought I was gonna have enough money to get to set aside for to save. But me just trying to stay here. And the last time I spent any money, any penny or any money at all, was this past Friday, for Uber rides to get to the deal with my mail and then go to grocery shopping, and then came straight here, and plus paid for another week to stay here, and plus I paid for groceries. And so I didn't even pay so much, pay as I didn't even so much pay for laundry or anything like that. I didn't pay for I didn't do any laundry. I didn't spend not one penny since last Friday. And I've been just eating off the food that I have in here. And I realized that my canned goods have gotten low, but I guess it won't matter if I were to end up back on the streets next Friday. But I was hoping, as I said, I was hoping to get help to stay off the streets. But churches won't even help. Churches won't even help you, or organizations won't help. And opening doors, they just direct you on what hotel you can go to. They won't even much give you money for a hotel. I mean, for a cheap motel for an emergency for the night. But they make it like you got to go through a process to stay in a hotel for a while, like for a week, and after you got into their program. But now it's like I'm blacklisted from opening doors. And Unity in New Orleans didn't want to help me. And that's like the New Orleans equivalent of, opening doors here in Pensacola. And there they go with the noise harassment. Like fake construction or something. Sound like I don't even know what tool they're using to make that noise. But But even shortly before I started this video, these neighbors right here, they kept on slamming the door off and on like every few seconds or something. So I wrote um I wrote a couple of more short stories last night, thinking that thinking that that could help. I mean, I wrote it on my blog and my Ko-fi, and a couple of so-called supporters or followers on Ko-fi had unfollowed me or whatever, and I haven't had really any help in like over a month. So I mean, I haven't had any, because they said Ko-fi or whatever is supposed to be a way to make money or make income, and I try to share it to my Twitter or my YouTube, and it's just I'm being ignored, you know, or any information on my blog, I'm being ignored, except the online perps want to have things to use as a weapon against me. That's the only thing that's not being ignored. They just want to twist things to make me out to look even more crazy and nonsensical and stuff like that. But as I said, an able-bodied male, they would rather help rescue out of homelessness when he can go get a job. But a disabled female, yeah, I guess I'm left to be on my own.